So I just got out of the movie theater from seeing The Amateur and Drop, so let's talk about those two movies. The first movie I saw today was The Amateur. This is starring Rami Malek, Rachel Brosnahan, a bunch of other people, and I had a really good time with this spy thriller. Like, having someone who's not used to being a spy in the modern day and age with the CIA and having to go across the world and do all these things where they're not really like physically skilled at fighting and adept at that stuff is really interesting. And I really cared about Rami Malek as a character and the relationship that he and his wife have and had. I think the few action scenes that we do get in this movie are pretty fine. Lawrence Fishburne has a really great one for some reason. Like, I'm really happy for him, but like, why is that in the movie? Because Rami Malek can't fight is really why. And while I do like the ending, I just wish it felt bigger, but I understand why the big third act finale is like what the third act finale is. The Amateur, I think it's a really good time. I super loved it. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And let's move on to Drop. This movie is brought to you by Christopher Langdon, who directed the two Happy Death Day movies. I don't know if he directed Freaky, but I know it was Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You. And this movie was also really fun. The idea of being stuck in a restaurant with someone just communicating to your phone, but you can't tell the person across from you that you're on a date on, like, what's going on, otherwise your kid's gonna die, I think is a really fun premise. And this runtime is so perfect because the pace of it is so fantastic. There's a limited of stuff you can do in this kind of setting, but I think they did a really good job at making it focused and really tense and thrilling, which I really enjoyed. And the cinematography in Drop was fantastic. I really, really loved what the camera work was doing. Again, you're kind of stuck in the setting where you are, and because what the villain wants in this movie is forcing our characters to be at one specific table in the restaurant, it could get very boring visually, but what Christopher Langdon does is fantastic with keeping you on your edge of your seat the entire time with the camera. The villain reveal was kind of weak, but I liked it. And then what really closes out the movie, your big third act, I felt it was just very tacked on in there just because you set everything up previously in the film, to where I didn't feel there was any danger to the characters because we were with a villain that we didn't really know much about or didn't have a personal connection to the characters. But I still really enjoy Drop. I had such a fun time during it. I'm going to also give it a 9 out of 10. And that concludes these two quick movie reviews.